right now. I am the party. And I want to share with you a secret that I discovered. The secret is the Fun Quotient. I've heard so much about IQ and EQ, but what I haven't heard about is FQ. And FQ is a secret, and this is a way to distinguish yourself as a leader, host, and friend. We are trend setters here of a whole new form of intelligence. And if I were to define it for you, FQ is a number representing someone's ability to be fun and spread fun, measured by the ratio of the humans vitalized in their presence to the humans depressed or exhausted. And why FQ matters is because human connection is the shortest path to happiness and longevity. What we will remember on our deathbed is how we treated others. This is going to benefit our leadership, it's going to benefit our social life, and it's going to benefit our relationships. It's going to make them more vibrant and alive. And finally, we're going to have heightened mood and energy because our social interactions nourish us. Everything I just said is going to translate into more financial success, and this is one of the statistics found by the Carnegie Institute, is that 85% of your financial success is due to your personality and ability to communicate, negotiate, and lead, not your technical knowledge. So let's just take a second and let's visualize the future you, perhaps even after this masterclass. The future you lights up others in your presence. The future you elicits positive emotions, joy, and play on a one-to-one basis. But there's another future you, the future of you at work. How can we bring more joy and energy into our work? When we're doing presentations. There's another future you, and this is the experience creator of yourself. The person who vitalizes the social groups to which you belong. Your social life can be amplified by FQ. The last future you is about shared experiences. FQ is going to enable you to create shared experiences with strangers, but your family and your friends. It's going to give you a means to contribute and give to the groups to which you belong. Whether that's through a conga line, a group cheer, we're going to dive into it. Finally, the future you is someone who is self-actualizing, someone who is stepping into their power as a public speaker, as a facilitator, and as a community builder. Someone who is jumping over fear to give all that you have to others. And this is what some of the famous High-F.Q leaders demonstrate. Tony Robbins, Oprah and Brene Brown, Steve Aoki, international famous DJ. So if that does not intrigue you, this is what we're going to learn in this masterclass. We're going to learn how to take interpersonal risks and completely overcome the fear of taking risks in social settings. We're going to practice being fun, not having fun. And we're going to learn how to spark joy and fun in vanilla or lifeless or disengaged audiences, or just one-on-one. Finally, we're going to be able to foster closeness by leading activities and games. So what is in this video? We're going to go over the 4 competencies of FQ. We're going to talk about the methods for getting into a social confident mood, the mental frameworks for overcoming social fears, strategies for making it safe for others to come alive in our presence, and tools to unite and exhilarate social groups. So before we begin this 25-minute masterclass, which is going to be fun because I like to think I have high F.Q. Please turn off your phone, close the other tabs, get a glass of water. Maybe it's in a beaker if you're a nerd like me, a party scientist. Maybe get a notepad in front of you and watch the next portion of this video continuously. Let's focus. And that's going to really allow you to benefit the most from this. So I first want to begin with the state of a lot of people right now. Loneliness, depression, anxiety are all on the rise. And I truly believe that the more high F-Qers there are out there in the world, the less stress, depression, anxiety will be out there, because positive emotions are super good for our mental health. And so I developed this course, this masterclass, to help people have a micro impact on reducing the mental health crisis. So there's a lot of research that informs my work on F.Q and informs my work as the party scientist. Some of this is synchrony, singing and dancing, how it induces the release of oxytocin. But then there's also all this research on longevity and how longevity and relationships are the same side of the coin. Okay, there's been massive meta-analyses on this relationship. What I found and what I try to live my life by is togetherness. We may not have it all together. There may be a mental health crisis, but when we come together and we support each other and we play and we connect authentically, we have it all. So I am Jacques, the party scientist. I'm a celebration and social bonding specialist. I've been featured, interviewed by the news about the COVID pandemic. I've also been interviewed by Vice Media about sober partying. I've had the privilege to work with very forward-looking businesses like Accenture and Lululemon. And I've also gotten a degree in pharmacology. I do regard myself as a real scientist, and I've worked at biotech companies as well. And I have also entertained and performed, hundreds, thousands of groups. My favorite are groups of strangers in the streets. So who are we and why do we want to elevate our F.Q? Well, we're community builders. We care about the mental health of our community members. We love to facilitate human connection. We believe joy and connection are elixirs of life, and we're committed to growing as leaders and facilitators. And if this doesn't describe you, no worries. This may not be for you, and that's perfectly okay. Who cares about F.Q? Why should you care? Well, do you want to run meetings and parties that people show up to? Do you want to raise the mental health of everyone around you? Do you want to be given more opportunities and invitations? Do you want to develop vibrant and playful relationships? And do you want a new way of leadership so that you can contribute and give to your social groups? This is what F.Q is going to bring each of us. So it's going to elevate our joy and mood. It's going to give us more physical energy. It's going to benefit our brain, and it's going to also create a stronger sense of belonging in our relationships. So there are 4 F.Q competencies, and I'm going to be sharing some stories about each of them. The first one is accessing a pro-social state. The second one is intrapersonal safety. Thirdly, psychological safety. And finally, the ability to lead pro-social group activities. Pro-social meaning activities that are socially cooperative and people are really connecting and interacting. So, competency number 1. Why don't I begin with a story? So, in 2020, I had a last-minute opportunity to perform on the main stage of a festival and facilitate human connection from the main stage. This was very anxiety-inducing. I was very afraid. I was very nervous. And while my co-pilots and I went to the backstage area, we did a little group ritual together. where we relaxed, we hugged, and we deactivated our nervous systems. When we deactivate our nervous systems, when we reduce our stress, and when we create a sense of joy within our bodies, this puts us into a pro-social state, a state where we can easily connect with others because we are calm and positive. Getting into a pro-social state matters because it enables you to be contagiously calm and positive. It gives people the impression that you have good energy. They'll say, I like your energy. It'll put other people into a relaxed and positive mood. It'll give us the ability to choose how we respond in our social interactions, communicate more clearly, and step into fear and overcome that fear more easily. We explore all the techniques for getting into a pro-social state in the course, but one of my favorites is physical activity. Physical activity and dance and music. These are three modalities that really help me get into a pro-social state so that people love my energy. So, the second one is intrapersonal safety. What intrapersonal safety is the sense of security within ourselves that enables us to take risks and fail. Okay, so when we feel intrapersonally safe, it's easy for us to witness people judging us. It's easy for us to overcome someone's snark at us. They look at us like we're weird, or they look at us as if they're asking, why are they experiencing joy? That's so inappropriate. Okay, so the story that I have here to share, in 2018, I got invited to a festival in the Alps, and I was a facilitator there, and I had my soundbox with me. And I had a few bizarre interactions with a few of the team members there, and they excluded me from pretty much everything, all the other programming at the event, and so I was pretty much alone. Now, I remember the moment. So we were at the dinner table, and one of the people who was on the trip actually poured water on me, like conspicuously. And so I had a bunch of water on my clothes, and everyone laughed. Everyone at the table laughed. So I felt completely ostracized and humiliated. But instead of sulking and instead of really sitting in that sadness, I decided that I was going to be resilient. And I decided that sure, I made a few social mistakes, but this is not going to hold me back from connecting and from giving to this festival. And so what I did is I went out and I met some doctors, I met a huge group of friends, and I facilitated human connection across the entire festival alone. And so when we have this intrapersonal safety and when we celebrate mistakes, then we can be resilient and we can continue to socialize even after social rejection or pain, the pain of humiliation. So this matters because it's going to enable us to take risks regardless of social rejection. We're going to get better at human connection day by day because our mindset is such. And we're going to be able to get up rapidly after we fall. All the different mindset shifts are in the course. One of them is the growth mindset, viewing mistakes as progress. And one of the great techniques that I talk about in the course is celebrating overcoming discomfort. All right, so the third step to High-F.Q is psychological safety, producing psychological safety. Psychological safety was popularized by Google's Aristotle project, which looked at team effectiveness. And they found that psychological safety, or a shared sense that it is okay to make mistakes and take risks in a social group, that it is okay. What it means by it being okay is that our reputation will not be harmed if we make a mistake, if we speak up. Psychological safety is the fertile soil in a group dynamic or in a one-on-one interaction that enables human expression and vulnerability, whether that is playful vulnerability or emotional vulnerability. So when we know how to produce psychological safety, we can relax the tension in the air in the group or in the interaction. We can get people to do cool things with us, edgy stuff with us. Hey, do you want to do a huddle and have a sing-along? We can create sensitive or goofy dialogues with others, and we can just lighten things up. And I'll give you a great example. I worked for a software company, and I went into their cafeteria. I was a well-being performer for them, and everyone arrives, and everyone's in suits, everyone's in work clothes. It's all developers, and no one anticipated that I'd be able to get everyone to dance. And I remember one of the employees saying, like, I've never seen anyone in the room dance like that before. And what I did to create that psychological safety is I role modeled. I role modeled expression, and I was the first one to dance, to smile, and to express myself. What also I did is I got everyone doing the same thing. After I facilitated that session for all these developers in a corporate software development office, I thought that I was impossible, but I've since failed, and I've jumped back up from my failures because I have interpersonal safety. But that was a wonderful experience that helped me see myself as a party scientist. So, we can produce psychological safety just through how we dress even. This is one of my good friends, and he is dressed as a captain, and he is dancing through an airport right now. The last step is pro-social energy. Pro-social energy is the latent positive energy that exists in a group. It can be unlocked when the group unites and synchronizes and does something together intentionally. So it's this energy that's just, it's there, but unless we do something as a group, it's not going to be realized. So what happens is when we synchronize a group with pro-social activities, games, line dances, singing, what happens is the pro-social energy starts to erupt, and that's when the positive emotions really spark up. Okay, so I once went to my friend's birthday party, and everyone's hanging out, everyone's having burgers, hanging out, very, a disjointed event. People are chilling, people are doing their own thing. There's not really a sense of unity. And I look at my buddy, it's his going away party, and I ask him, hey, could we do an activity as a group together? Do you trust me as the party scientist? And he says, yeah, Jacques, I trust you. And that made me feel so good. And so what I did is I got everyone's attention, and I said, hey, everyone, we're coming up to the patio here, and we're going to do something together. And I get on the microphone, and I explain what we're going to do. I get the guy who's going away to sit in a chair, and we have this microphone. And I say, everyone, we're going to each share a little bit about what we admire about this guy right here before he leaves on his trip. And what took place after, 20 minutes of laughter. 20 minutes of laughter. All his friends and his family came up, and they shared what was really meaningful about the relationship they had with him. And what it did is it united the group in laughter. It united the attention of the group, and it created a purpose to the gathering. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And it really wouldn't have happened if I had not done so much training on raising my FQ. So this is going to help us when we unlock pro-social energy through pro-social activities, through leading, through initiating. We can unite the group. We can scale our impact on a social group. We can achieve such a larger difference if we bring a group together. And we can have a bunch of people wanting to meet us after we facilitate it. People are so thankful for these experiences that I create spontaneously at social gatherings. And just like 2 nights ago, I was at a birthday party, and I did it again, and I received a message from my friend thanking me so deeply for what I created at the event. And so we explore all the tools in the course for pro-social energy, but I'm going to go over 5 right now. And while we go over these 5, I want you to realize that an expert is an expert insofar as their tools are effective and expert. So really, like when we are an expert, the tools are effortless to use, and that's where the expertise is, the tools. Okay. So, I'm going to give you some examples here. First off, this is an example of facilitating pro-social energy, all right? And this was on a beach with a bunch of strangers. And happiness. I'm wishing you.
At the chorus, you can come on into the middle, all right? At the chorus, sing along.
Okay, and here we go. Here we go. We get the unity. So this was, of course, before COVID. There's so many ways that we can evoke this pro-social energy. Just getting a group together for a group photo, starting a huddle, group cheers, human limbo, crowd surf therapy, line dancing, or really just getting people into a circle and doing a check-in, okay? And in the course, I go over all the tools that you can just use effortlessly to unite a group and to exhilarate a group. That's often what I do. So let's pause. Let's pause and let's just remember our aspirational self, right? We don't want to be held back by social conformity. We want people to say, I like your energy. We want to be confident to get people's attention and start something interesting, experimental, create a peak experience for people in our surroundings. We want to have a toolkit of games and activities that everyone will enjoy and talk about afterward. And we want to be considered the life of the party and invited to everything. We want our social group to express so much gratitude for our contributions, our leadership contributions to the community. And we want to be invited. We want to be invited to MC at our friend's wedding. We want people to say, hey, I would love for you to be here because I know people are going to like your energy, okay? And then, of course, we want to get promoted. We want to increase our financial freedom. And we want to increase our longevity and our mood. And FQ is going to enable us to do all of that. And so this is why I've been training my FQ since 2016. So the future you is someone who is training their FQ. And the core requirement for training your FQ is taking the leap. It is being courageous in our connections. It is being the one who doesn't play it safe. It is embracing the times that you fall on your face and getting back up and doing it the next time. Courage. Courage and FQ are congruous. They fuel each other.